Good afternoon, Doc Santos. Good afternoon, classmates. I am Dr. Ian J. Dolumpinas Carampiel, and this afternoon we are going to discuss about healthcare financial management. So for our week 3 to 4 agendas, at the end of this discussion, we are going to understand the core concepts of healthcare finance. We are going to analyze the financial performance of healthcare organizations, evaluate the role of budgeting in healthcare operations, explore the impact of financial decision making on quality of care, and understand the role of information systems in financial management. So let's start with the basics of healthcare finance. So, with a definition, healthcare finance encompasses the accounting, financial management, and budgeting activities that support the operations of healthcare organizations. This involves managing the costs, the revenues, and assets to ensure financial stability while delivering quality care. What are the key objectives of healthcare finance? This includes to ensure financial viability. Now, we need to maintain a balance between revenue generation and expenditure. Support operational decision making, like providing accurate financial data for informed decisions. Enhance quality of care. We need to allocate resources efficiently to improve patient outcomes and comply with regulatory requirements to ensure financial practices meet legal and ethical standards. So when we talk about key terms in healthcare finance, this one we are going to discuss on the later parts of the video. So we are going to talk about revenue cycle management, cost accounting, and capital investment. Financial management functions in healthcare includes budgeting. Important in any businesses, not only in healthcare, that we do budgeting. We need to estimate our future revenue and we need to continue computing our expenses. We need to have financial reporting. We need also to have cost control and investment decisions. When we talk about financial structure of healthcare organizations, this means that it defines how resources are allocated, funds are raised, and expenditures are managed. So, what are the key components? This includes the revenue sources that includes patient services, insurance reimbursements, government funding and donations, operating costs such as the salaries, medical supplies, administrative expenses, and utilities. So, what are the types of healthcare organizations and financial structures? This one, we know that some of the government organizations right now, they are for the nonprofit. But since most of the hospitals, especially the hospital that I am currently working on, we are zero balance billing. So all of the patients that come into our hospital will be given an opportunity to send a letter to our governor for help for the MAIP, and eventually their bill would be zero. So we are going to divide it into three parts, the for-profit organizations, the non-profit organizations, and the government-owned or the public healthcare entities. So I know some of our colleagues here are working currently in government-owned public healthcare entities. Now, when we talk about for-profit organizations, from the word itself, you are going to generate profit for shareholders. No? The financial structure focuses on maximizing return on investment. This is in contrast with non-profit organizations. It operates with the mission of providing care rather than generating profit. And when we talk about government owned, no, usually this is funded through the taxes and government grants, and the financial structure is focused on the public accountability and resource allocations. So as you can see on the right side of the screen, we have here a short table, no, stating the differences between a for-profit and a non-for-profit healthcare organizations. So, financial challenges in healthcare. I know that we already feel the burden of increasing um, cost of our day-to-day living, not only for individuals working in the hospital. No, makikita natin that eventually all of the people has the problems with healthcare. Now, they have problems with their medications. That is why some of the patients are non-compliant to their medications because they cannot afford one. So, one of the financial challenges in healthcare is rising healthcare costs. No? This includes increased cost of medical services, the technology, and the drugs. So, not only the drugs is having an increase in value, but also our medical services such as the PF of the doctor, not the professional fee of the doctor. Also, the medical laboratory tests such as the CBC, the blood chemistry, no, and also the technology such as the X-rays and etc. etc. So, if you are going to admit yourself, if you will be admitted in a private sector, in a private hospital, you are going to really feel the inflation with the increased amount of medical services and drugs. But on the hospital setup naman, based on my interview with our chief of hospital, there was only an incremental increase in the government hospital na gamot because mas privilege yung government to get the funds and to get the resources from a lower price compared to the private hospitals. Also, reimbursement models, no? Like complexity of managing payment systems such as private insurance, no? Medicare and Medicaid. So I know that I think most of us know that PhilHealth has an issue right now regarding the 89 billion going to a different department or going back to the National Treasury. But we are going to feel uh, the problem in PhilHealth right now because I think we have 2 months. May personal experience is 2 months hindi kami na bigyan ng PhilHealth share namin because of the problems with PhilHealth. Also, that also includes nung na-hack din yung PhilHealth. So, it's very important that the insurances would pay the hospitals of their supposed payments, no, for the patients. And also capital investments. This includes balancing capital needs for infrastructure with operational expenses. So let's talk about financial planning and budgeting. So when we talk about financial planning, no, financial planning in hospital management involves the process of forecasting, which we've learned already from the previous semester, organizing and controlling financial resources to meet the strategic objectives of the organization. So the goal for this one is to ensure the hospital can fund its operations, invest in new technologies, and provide high quality patient care. So why is financial planning important? Bakit importante ang financial planning? It's because we need to ensure financial sustainability. Hindi pwede ngayon ng hospital mabubuhay pagka tomorrow, pagkabukas, hindi na mabubuhay yung hospital because it was not allocated, it was not sustained. Okay? So this helps hospitals anticipate and manage financial challenges, including the rising of operational costs and fluctuating revenues. Especially in private hospitals, we cannot really predict, no, if ngayong buwan na ito marami yung pasyente mo, next month kakaunti na lang or wala na, na may mga months naman na sobrang toxic na talaga. No? So it depends. So even though there is a fluctuation, I think the hospital needs to be stable. No, kailangan naka-budget talaga siya. Kaya kailangan may financial planning. It supports strategic decision making. So this enables informed decisions on capital investments, service expansions, and cost-cutting initiatives. So there are times that the hospital, especially during pandemic, now there were hospitals in our institutions, in our community here, na nag-close talaga because uh, hindi nila afford yung mga hinihingi ng mga nurses na na fee during pandemic. Then there were no more workers already na magtatrabaho because sa takot. So napilitan talaga yung hospital na yun na mag-close after that one. No? So improves resource allocations. We need to ensure that the hospital allocates resources where they are needed most. So whether it's improving patient care or upgrading medical equipment. So hindi naman kasi yung mabibili mo ngayon, it will last you at least 10 to 20 years. Eventually, you're going to upgrade that one. But some of the machines, na especially in the laboratory, you are going to upgrade or at least maintain that one for a period of time. Then eventually you're going to upgrade. Kasi nakakatakot if you are going to only have one machine na wala kang standby. If that machine will be worn out or magkakaproblema, you will not be having income on that aspect or that department of the hospital. So what are the key components of financial planning? I know this one is we are very familiar because we have discussed this one last semester or last sa other subject. So revenue forecasting, we need to estimate the future income coming from the patient services, the insurance reimbursements, and the government funding. We need also to manage our expenses. We need to plan the capital, and we need also to manage the risk. No? So we need to prepare again another statement, prepare unexpected financial challenges. So when we talk about budgeting, this one is very common to us. Now we do budgeting especially for our day-to-day living when we go traveling. Now we need to have budget. So budgeting is a process of creating a detailed financial plan that outlines how a hospital will spend its resources over a specified period, typically one fiscal year. So just like in our hospital right now and in the health office, we do budgeting at least, no, masyadong matagal pa for approval before the year will end. And yung ginagamit na budget ngayon is yung ginagamit na pera ngayon is the budget from last year pa. So if there are any additions, no, matatrabaho na yan siya eventually on next year. So depende kung may extra budget pa, no, pero most of the budget should be planned this year for next year. Now we need to ensure that the hospital lives within its means while meeting its financial obligations and operational needs. So ano yung mga key steps natin sa the budgeting process? No? We need to forecast the revenue. We need to estimate the expenses. No? We need to set the budget targets. And if the hospital is composed of dignitaries and board members, no, we need to have a budget approval. So, importante that after we forecast the revenue, estimate the expense, no, we set the budget targets, we do budget approval. So, in our hospital, even though we have a chief of hospital, it is being talked by the different chief of hospital. So, yung budget ng isang hospital, pinag-uusapan ng whole entirety of the provincial health office na group. So, since our hospital is under the province, so lahat ng chief of hospital is merong opinion on how does the budget will be used by that specific hospital. So nakikipag-brainstorming yung other hospitals even though hindi lang sila yung chief of hospital sa yun ganun na hospital. Na? So we need to monitor and adjust. So what are the types of budgets sa hospital management? So, pinakauna dyan would be the operating budget. Now, this covers day-to-day expenses such as wages, utilities, and medical supplies. This one is very important in a private hospital setup because we know that some hospitals are really giving the payment, the PF to the doctors or to the health workers after the duty. So even though walang pera or walang income for that day kasi walang nagpa-check up or walang admission, the budget should have been prepared no kay para merong ibigay na pera sa staff after the duty. So the hospital estimates the cost of staffing and supplies to run its emergency department. Yan yung pinaka-importante. Also, capital budget, no? We focus on our long-term investments such as new medical equipment or facility upgrades. Pareho na na-discuss ko din kanina. And for the cash budget, monitors the cash flow, ensuring the hospital can meet its financial obligations in time. So managing cash reserves to cover payroll during months with lower patient volume. So, what are the challenges in budgeting process? So, this includes unpredictable revenue. Kaya yung sabi ko kanina, may mga months talaga na meron talaga, marami talagang pasyente. May mga months talaga na wala talagang pasyente. No? Medyo relax yung duty. So, I've observed for my 3 years in moonlighting, I have observed that usually during the months of May and June, since wala pang pera yung mga tao, masyadong kaunti pa talaga ang admissions. But during July, August, and until now, September, dumadami ng admissions kasi uh, tig-harvest and yung mga government workers na contractual is nakakasahod na ulit. So, yung mga tao sa farm, nakakapera na din. So, eventually, sumasakit na yung child. Ano, o, kumakain, sige na inom, so magkaka-vehicular accident. So, naka-base din siya sa season. So, I think the hospital needs to prepare on the seasonal fluctuations in the admission or the revenues. Again, rising healthcare costs, walang kamatayang rising healthcare costs, lahat nagmamahalan, including the PF of the doctor and the medical supplies and equipment. And also, we need to balance the quality and cost control. So, without sacrificing the quality of care, even though kaya nga may mga standard of care tayo sa PhilHealth na even though maliit lang yung hospitals, but that hospital should deliver the standard of care using this set of drugs. So, hindi pwedeng ah, level 1 hospital ka tapos yung gabot mo na naka-standby is wala, no? Pang PO lang lahat. So, hindi din siya pwede. So, we need to monitor and adjust the budget. We need to continuously monitor. That's why our administrative officers are very vocal of the fluctuations in income. Even though hindi ganun ka hands-on talaga kami na mga medical officers sa hospital with the budget, they really informed us na ganito na lang yung natitira na budget natin and we are going to allocate these funds to our ganito na gamot. So, at least we know we medical officers know na kung saan napupunta din yung budget para at least kung magkatanungan mamaya, no, other than our chief of hospital, alam namin kung saan napupunta yung pera ng hospital. So we need to make some adjustments. No, if there are significant discrepancies, adjustments may be required. No, for example, a hospital may reduce overtime hours or delay non-essential purchases if expenses exceed the budget in the first quarter. So ano yung importance ng budgeting in hospital management? We need to control the cost. We need to align with the strategic goals. Also, we need to prepare for uncertainty. So let's talk about cost accounting in healthcare. So when we talk about cost accounting, this is the process of capturing, recording, analyzing the cost associated with providing healthcare services such as staff salaries, medical supplies, and overhead. So the objective of cost counting is to determine the cost of delivering healthcare services, helping hospitals manage expenses, set pricing, and allocate resources efficiently. So, what are the relevance of cost accounting in healthcare? So, saan natin siya makaka-relate? So, this includes the improvement in financial management. So, we can provide insights into the cost of various services, helping hospitals control expenses and improve efficiency. Supports pricing strategies, determine the actual cost of procedures and services, allowing hospitals to set appropriate charges. And also, this includes enhancing decision making. So, this provides critical information for decisions related to resource allocation, budgeting, and service line profitability. So, what are the key components of cost accounting? So, this include direct, indirect, and the variable. Pag sinabi nating direct, these are expenses that can be directly linked to a patient care. no, such as the physician salaries, the professional fees, the medications, and the diagnostic tests. Pag sinabi naman natin indirect cost, this includes expenses that are not directly tied to patient care, but are necessary for hospital operations, such as administrative salaries and facility maintenance. So I think that is a very understandable naman. No? Pag sinabi nating fixed na cost, this remains constant regardless of patient volume. So I don't know if some hospitals do still do renting, no? Pero yung mga clinic siguro, yes, we do renting. But on the hospital setup, most of the time na nadodonate naman kasi yung land, so wala nang renting na nangyayari. And variable costs, no? This fluctuate based on the patient volume. So cost allocation ng hospitals, no? This is the process of distributing indirect costs to various departments or services that incur this cost of. The purpose of this one is that each department or service bears its fair share of indirect costs, improving the accuracy of cost reporting. So ano yung mga example nito? Usually, the electricity na ibibigay sa surgery, radiology, and outpatient care. Okay? So, what are the methods of cost allocation in hospitals? These can be divided into three: the direct, the step down, and the ABC. So yung direct, the costs are directly assigned to the departments without considering interdepartmental services. So allocated na talaga siya, no, sa isang department. So directly. Yung step down naman, ibibigay muna yung pera sa isang department at sila nang bahala doon sa utility, sa sa specific na mga expenses or allocations kung saan man nila ibibigay yun siya. That's the step down method. Pag sinabi naman nating activity-based costing, na costs are allocated based on the activities that drive resource usage, offering a more precise approach to cost allocation. So this includes no, yung patient assessment, yung medication, administration, and wound care. So nakadepende siya sa ginawa ng isang healthcare professional. So we have officially ended the discussion, but we are going to discuss some of the case studies. So these case studies are being taken from the references given to us by Dr. Santos. So first will be a case study regarding a financial challenge in a rural hospital. So the case summary includes that the rural hospital was facing severe financial difficulties due to declining patient volume. Just like sabi ko nga kanina, magiging problema talaga yung patient volume in the hospital setup. Low reimbursement rates from Medicare and Medicaid. For example, wala na talagang ibibigay yung PhilHealth for now kasi may problem with the budget, and competition from larger urban healthcare systems. So the hospital struggled with high fixed costs, such as facility maintenance and staffing, and had limited capital to invest in new medical technology. Since maliit lang naman yung hospital, maliit lang naman yung revenues, hindi ganun kadali-dali makakakuha ng new equipments or upgrades ang hospital na ito. So ano yung challenge? There is a low patient volume and there is a high dependency on government payers. Difficulty attracting specialists kasi pwedeng masyadong malayo sila, and high operational cost relative to revenue. So ano yung financial decision na pwedeng magawa? The hospital implemented cost-cutting measures by reducing staff hours, closing underutilized departments, and consolidating services. So sabi ko nga kanina, if there are some departments in the hospital that is not generating income, eventually it will be closed. Kasi at the end of the day, even though if you are a government or a for-profit organization, we need income. So kaya nga some of the meetings that we had with our um, higher officials in the government, that among the 8 hospitals na under sa province, na minomonitor kung sino yung may pinakamaliit na revenue or wala talagang revenue at all or magkaka-negative talaga with income. Kasi they are planning to really to close that one kasi sayang din yung budget. No? Kaya nga, as much as possible, we are trying to improve the services so that the people will come into government hospitals and will eventually have the patient really patronize the services from the government service. So pursued partnerships with nearby healthcare system to share resources and improve purchasing power. So outcome, the hospital's long-term sustainability without a significant increase in patient volume or external funding. At the end of the day, if you can settle the differences between the budget, you are going to have at least improvements with the costing and revenue later on. So another one, doon naman tayo sa medyo malaking setup. No, a large or urban healthcare system face a financial crisis due to mismanagement. Uh, ito lang yung problema if malaki na yung hospital most of the time. Poor revenue cycle processes and rising operational costs. So the system had several hospitals and inefficiencies across its facilities led to operating losses. So this one, hindi pa naman ako ganun ka-open with this kind of setup because I am still currently working in the government hospital and yung maliit lang na hospital, the private hospital. So this one, wala talaga, hindi pa ganun siya open sa akin na concept. So what are the key financial challenges for this one? This includes rising costs in labor, medical supplies, and pharmaceuticals, the inefficiencies in revenue cycle leading to delayed reimbursement and bad debt accumulation, failure to adapt to changing payer models. So ano yung ginawa nila? The healthcare system hired a new financial management that implemented a turnaround plan. So if there is a mismanagement according to the books that I've read before, you really need to change the management. So kaya, if problema yung mismanagement, you change the management. They restructured the revenue cycle by improving billing and collection processes, negotiated better contracts with suppliers, and reduced labor costs through strategic staffing changes. So, invested in technology upgrades, including electronic health records and automated billing systems to improve operational efficiency. So, eventually, the healthcare system returned to profitability within 2 years with improved cash flow, and the investment in the EHR systems led to a better patient care coordination, reducing readmissions and poor outcomes. Okay? So, how do we analyze the analysis of financial decisions? So, there is really important in cost-cutting measures. We need to improve the revenue cycle improvements. The revenue cycle we really need to improve, and we need to invest in technology. So, with that said, what we had learned this afternoon is the comprehensive approach to financial management. Successful financial decisions require balance between cost control, revenue enhancement, and strategic investments in technology and staff. And importance of revenue cycle management is critical to ensure hospitals receive timely payments for services, improving cash flow, or reducing financial strain. And also, we need to invest in technology for long-term gains. Although expensive, investing in technology can yield significant long-term benefits, both in terms of operational efficiency and patient care outcomes. So with that said, that is my last slide for healthcare financial management. I hope that you have learned something this afternoon. I know that it is a little bit overwhelming because I've used different resources, especially from the books that Doc Santos have uh, provided us. So I tried my very best to summarize and give examples to each concept so that at least we have a short or at least a small background about healthcare financial management. Me personally, upon reading the book and making the PowerPoint presentations, had some realizations that it is really important not only that we gain revenue, but also we gain revenue by giving the people the best quality of care that we can provide. May it be a profit, a non-profit, or an organizational, or a government funded hospital. So with that said, thank you very much for listening. For the 30 minutes of your time listening, again, I am Dr. Ian J. Galampiel. Thank you and have a good afternoon, everyone.